You guys, I feel so lit up right now. I can't even fully describe it, but something that I've realized in this particular high, because I'm seeing a lot of the quantum leap that I've been really experiencing over the last month in statistics now and in the 3D and in like yeah, like it's just being reflected back at me, even though I was experiencing it like weeks ago. So it's just really cool to actually see. And it's so cool that so many of you resonated with the delusional demand. I am fully standing behind that and really feeling that deeply. And I continuing to show up with that energy every day. And things are still shifting in like a tectonic plate level in my life. So it's been really interesting. And also, it's been an interesting experience because I did have so many, um, I'll call them lows because that's what they did feel like during my 30-day challenge. And it wasn't lows like I don't want to create. It was just the different blocks that I was moving through. And I've used this metaphor before, but I'll explain it again. So it's like you start to say, I want this peak experience. I want to see the summit of this peak, go towards this goal. I would love this experience, is sort of how we want to approach our goals. We know we can feel happy and secure and all the things no matter where we're at on the mountain, but to just be like, I want this experience. That is my desire. That is what I will work for. And I think what happens is, you're setting up camp on the mountain and there are going to be storms. And I think that we take the storms personally. We think, oh, like, yeah, it's a personal attack when really everyone who crosses this threshold, like getting up the peak, has to go through this storm, has to be asked, do you have value? Do you have this? Like, all these questions that come up as you're going, like, everyone's going to be approaching those questions differently, but everyone's going to go through that, like, veil to get to that peak, that storm to get to that desired experience. So I feel like I was going through a lot of those things during my 30-day challenge, but I could feel how good and pivotal they were because I wasn't taking them personally and I was alchemizing them. And I was really actually learning how to alchemize the lows without bypassing them and without feeling like I wasn't entirely feeling them. Like it's basically the radical acceptance of the low and of the feeling, asking what it's trying to teach you or show you or learn you, and taking that lesson and continuing on. Like that's really what it's all about. And so through finally treating the lows and the blocks and everything like that, and basically getting to a point where that sequence of events can happen nearly instantly because I know I can control my own moods. I know I can, yeah, just alchemize the lows. I was sitting, yeah, at this neutral for a little bit, and I was tapping into that high some days, and I just wasn't seeing anything. But I knew it was there, and I could really feel that something was happening, and I really was approaching things differently in my mental space and my heart space and just in general in my everyday. And I was still just having fun no matter what was showing up. That was the art of detachment that I feel like I've learned over this past month, is like, no matter what you want, show the universe you can have fun without it. Don't give it too much importance because ultimately you're here to experience today, right? So, anyway, all of that was happening, and now I'm seeing it in the 3D, and it feels really exciting. And now I'm realizing, and of course I knew this, that as above, so below, there's an opposing high that feels as good as those lows felt. And if you were able to go deeper into those lows and really shine a light on them and think about them, the high is going to feel really good. But there's an alchemy I'm learning with the high as well. Because I think what can happen in these really like the high states is we can immediately accidentally dip into a scarcity mindset of like, oh, this isn't going to last, you know? And it's really not about making it last. It's not about staying at this peak. We know we're going through the highs and the lows of life all the time. We know that really there's a richness in getting back to neutrality. But hey, that high after all those lows, let it be fucking fun. Let it feel like this full body. Like, if you have to radically accept and full body go into those lows, radically excite and fully go into the excitement of the highs. Let yourself have those full body dances. Get it all out. Let yourself be excited. Let yourself cheer and tell your friends and tell your partner and just be bubbly. You're allowed to be happy. If you can be sad for seemingly no reason, you can be happy for things that might not make sense, or maybe even things that you at one point thought were like vain or like whatever. You can be happy for the quantum leap showing up in the 3D. And so the alchemy is in radically accepting how happy and how exciting you are and jumping on that energy a little bit. And so in the lows and that reflection, we are looking at okay, what's the lesson here? In the high, I think we're just looking at like, what's the joy here? What's the fun here? What feels like life here? What, how can I tap into this more? We can tap into the lows more, you know? How can I tap into this more? How can I like enter this? And we don't always want the high to be attached to the 3D. The thing about this particular high for me is that it wasn't attached to the 3D. It's just like really cool to actually see it come in. But it wasn't, I've been feeling this way, just, you know, no views, no no stats showing me. I've been feeling this way for weeks. I've been experiencing those lows, alchemizing them, feeling the highs, and almost like I think the lesson for me in all of this that I'm realizing is whenever I'm feeling that high, even if it's not in the 3D, to just let myself feel it, to let myself be really excited, even if it's just for myself, even if I am my only witness. I don't have to share like to friends or like I don't have to have that sharing moment of people knowing that I'm like feeling really really good. I can, but sometimes I think when you share and you don't have anything to prove, depending on the person or the like depending on who it lands, it's sort of, I don't know, there can just be this commitment for people to not let you have it, not let you have your thing, because there's no reason to have it. You just feel good. Like, I don't think that people really want people to be happy a lot, or like, I don't want to say that. It's more so people don't understand people who are happy for no reason or just because they have a good feeling, you know? Sometimes that's just something someone can't really comprehend because they've never let themselves feel it. And you could literally be opening sort of a doorway for them to feel that for the first time, which is really cool. But don't let their apprehension to your joy stifle your joy. So alchemize whenever the high is in the 3D, I feel like it's just this perfect storm of really allowing yourself the permission to feel that and then recognizing you don't need the permission to feel that and yeah, then just getting to a state where it's like, okay, I'm going to ride this wave and be happy and know that it's going to come back to neutral. And the neutral is maybe just a little vibrating just a little bit higher. You know what I mean? Like the neutral, because I think that happens with the lows too. Like whenever I'm going through the lows and I am neutralizing out, I am learning the lesson. Even whenever I'm getting back to neutral, it's still a little bit like, I'm still getting through it, you know? I'm still processing and integrating what I've just learned, and honestly, probably thinking about all these times that I've let this low kind of control my life a little bit because I wasn't willing to face this lesson, and just letting all that go and letting, like, you know, meeting all those past versions of yourself and be sending love and light to what they were trying to do and everything. But yeah, with the high, it's just, yeah, I feel like you come back to neutral and then you're still vibrating on this little bit, this little tingle, you know? And that can obviously continue to compound when you are meeting with people that you really like and like feel that really good energy with and feel that uphill, like, yes, this is working, you know? So that's where like the celebrating comes in and actually just being happy with your friends and all that stuff. So, yeah, with all of this, I wanted to share my new offers with you guys, which is just so exciting. I feel like I've landed on this in such a perfect way, but basically, I am here to create a customized 30-day challenge with you all. You know, I just got off of my 30-day YouTube challenge. I've done challenges in the past for multiple things. I've done a writing one specifically geared towards like living my dream life writing, where I just kind of dumped out all of my blocks and thoughts every single morning and worked through them every day. And that led me to start my YouTube challenge. And I've also done book writing, like my sci-fi book that I've been working on. I've done 30-day challenges with that. It's basically picking your priority that you actually want to see the needle move in your creative vision, but I'm going to help you customize this 30-day challenge to your unique like creative DNA, where you want to see the needle move. And then I'm going to support you throughout those 30 days with voice note support. And we'll have calls and stuff. I explain it a little bit more in the video on the landing page if you want to watch that. But I'm really, really excited for that. And just I love a good challenge, and not in that hustle way, but just in a way that I love figuring out what I really want to prioritize and moving that needle and seeing like a big chunk of this needle move and learning so much about myself in the 100% days, in the 20% days. Like, it's been so pivotal for me and my life and my creative vision every time I do anything like this. So I just really want to support other women through that experience. So if you're curious about that, that'll be linked down below. And if you want something a little more short term, which is just a one off hour call about anything to do with YouTube, because I could talk about YouTube all day, I also have that available just as like pick my brain about YouTube if you're someone who's either just getting started or really wanting YouTube to just feel like an expression of your truth and like to be fun. If you just want it to be fun, you don't specifically want to be worried about the numbers, want to be obsessed, like I get it. I've been through the spiral of caring a lot, detaching a lot, like all that stuff. It's been 2 years and I've created 150 videos and I love it to bits. I love who I am when I'm creating on YouTube, and I could just talk about it all day of how I approach my creativity on here and my consistency on here and why I keep showing up for this platform. And so, yeah, if you want to pick my brain, you can book a call with me about YouTube. And both of those are for women only. And yeah, that is today's video. And I am really glad you all loved the delusional demand. I think I'm going to kind of look into this a little bit more and study it a little bit more. I know it goes into like quantum mechanics and stuff that I can't fully wrap my brain around, but is so fascinating to me and it's just really fun to learn about. So I'll definitely be having more thoughts on that. But yeah, lots is shifting and it's really exciting. And yeah, you can also get the kitchen sink series still. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. It's weird not to say like I'll talk to you tomorrow because I don't know. I'm just sort of making these videos as I feel now and like uh, figuring out my little schedule and before I announce a schedule because I don't know what life looks like after my 30-day challenge. Um, because I loved it so much and I just want to keep going. But anyway, so I'll see you in the next video and I hope you all have a beautiful day. Bye, guys.